How much is the time inside this watch worth? People stared at her. Some laughed loudly. One woman said, "Young lady, are you joking?" Another man waved her away. "What kind of foolish question is that?" Lived a young woman named Adwoa. She was 27 years old, beautiful, kind-hearted, and known by everyone in her neighborhood. But Adwoa had one problem. She wasted too much time. Every morning, while others were opening their shops, going to work, or preparing for the day, Adwoa would still be sleeping. She had finished school 2 years earlier, but instead of building her future, she spent most of her days walking around town, chatting with friends, scrolling endlessly on her phone and saying, "I still have time. Life is long." Her mother, Adwoa, watched quietly with growing concern. Adwoa was a hard-working woman who sold handmade kente cloth at the local market. She had struggled for years to raise Adwoa and give her a better life. She dreamed of seeing her daughter become successful, but each day she watched that dream slipping away. One evening, after closing her shop, Adwoa sat outside their small house under the warm orange sunset. She called Adwoa gently. "My daughter, come and sit with me." Adwoa walked over lazily and sat beside her mother. Adwoa pointed to the old wooden cupboard inside the house. "There is a wristwatch inside that cupboard. Please bring it to me." Adwoa stood up, opened the cupboard, and found an old silver watch neatly wrapped in cloth. It looked old, but valuable. She brought it to her mother. Adwoa looked at the watch carefully and then said, "Tomorrow morning, take this watch to the market. Ask people how much they think it is worth." Adwoa looked confused but nodded. The next morning, she went to Kajetia market with the watch. She showed it to different traders. A shoe seller said, "I can give you 100 cedis." A fruit seller said, "Maybe 200 cedis." A tailor offered 150. A rich-looking man said it might be worth 300 cedis. Everyone gave a different answer. Adwoa returned home and said, "Mother, people gave different prices. Some said 100, some said 200, and one man even said 300. Adwoa smiled softly. "Good. Now put it back." Adwoa became even more confused but obeyed. The next day, Adwoa called her again. "Bring me the same watch." Adwoa did. This time, Adwoa said, "Go back to the market. But today, do not ask the price of the watch. Ask people the value of the time inside the watch." Adwoa frowned. "The value of time inside the watch?" "Yes," her mother replied calmly. "Go and ask." Though confused, Adwoa obeyed. At the market, she asked people, "How much is the time inside this watch worth?" People stared at her. Some laughed loudly. One woman said, "Young lady, are you joking?" Another man waved her away. "What kind of foolish question is that?" Embarrassed, Adwoa almost gave up. As she was about to leave, she passed a small repair shop where an elderly man was fixing clocks and watches. His name was Mr. Kofi, and he had been known in Kumasi for many years as the best watch repairer in town. She walked to him and asked quietly, "Sir, how much is the time inside this watch worth?" The old man stopped working. He removed his glasses and looked at her kindly. Then he smiled. "My daughter, that is the most important question anyone can ask." Adwoa stood silently. He continued, "You can replace a broken watch. You can buy another phone. You can rebuild a house. But time, once it passes, it never returns." He held up the watch. "You may offer someone 1,000,000 cedis, but you cannot buy back even 1 second of yesterday." Adwoa listened carefully. Mr. Kofi said, "Time has one painful truth and one beautiful gift. The painful truth is that it keeps moving. It never waits for anyone. The beautiful gift is that every morning, life gives you 24 fresh hours. Rich or poor, educated or not, everyone gets the same amount." He leaned closer. "The difference between success and regret is how people use those hours. Those words struck Adwoa deeply. For the first time, she saw herself clearly. All the wasted mornings, the endless excuses, the delayed dreams. Her eyes filled with tears. She thanked Mr. Kofi and hurried home. When she arrived, her mother was waiting. Adwoa hugged her tightly. "Mother, I understand now." She told her everything. Afua smiled and placed her hand on Adwoa's shoulder. That was the lesson I wanted you to learn." From that day forward, Adwoa changed. She started waking up early. She learned business from her mother. She opened a small online fashion store selling handmade African accessories. She planned her days carefully and stopped wasting hours on meaningless distractions. Months later, people in Kumasi began speaking about her, not as the lazy young woman who wandered around town, but as the hard-working woman building her future. And whenever someone asked her the secret of her transformation, she would smile and say, "Because I finally learned that time is free, but it is priceless." Friends, time is the one thing everyone receives equally, but not everyone values equally. You cannot save it for tomorrow. You cannot buy it back later. You can only choose how to spend it today. So use your time wisely, because every second is part of your life.